Hey there, have you ever heard about the fractal antenna? You know, you have these in your mobile device, okay? It's a common technology now. And these are small scale antenna that are in the same shape, have the same geometry or topology, you might say, of the frequency or signal that they want to capture. And they found that rather than size, it's the shape and geometry of the antenna itself which makes it more effective at receiving the signal. Okay, so that's an interesting discovery. Not a new discovery, but I was going through my notes back from 2005, and I described the human DNA as a variable frequency modulator. Okay, that's a very interesting term, and this was way before I learned like as much as I do now about molecular biology. You know, like DNA, histomodification, methylation, gene expression, and all of that. There was a lot of intuitive study going on at the time, like observation and so on. And my experience was that the DNA, the human DNA, somehow changes the frequency, the signal output, but also what it's able to receive. And in fact, there is a German physicist called Alfred Pops who discovered, he's gone now to the internal dimension of the cosmos, but he discovered what he termed ultra weak biophoton emission, that living organisms, particularly from the DNA, emit light. They emit electromagnetic radiation, which we know from technology includes or is the best carrier or communicator of information. Okay, so our DNA is outputting a signal, it's outputting electromagnetism or light that communicates information. Okay, so my hypothesis at the time, going back in 2005, same as today, and this should be measurable and testable as well. So, you know, we can get into that in subsequent videos, how you can potentially measure it. Although this signal output is actually measured, you know, but I'm talking about the internal component rather than the external physical component. So, you know, they use photon multipliers and so on to amplify the signal, and they know exactly the quantity, the frequency, strength of signal, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so it's not like it's not groundbreaking anymore necessarily. It's just not well understood or well known in the public domain. So the DNA is changing, like histone modification, methylation. That's where entire blocks of DNA between these proteins called histones move further apart and closer together, and then basically acting like an on and off switch for this light. So